Welcome, Wastelanders, to the Post-Apocalyptic Joe and a Cinematic Wasteland audiobook podcast. My name is Joe Gillis, and I'm the writer and narrator of this serial fiction series. This week, we're in Chapter 7, but there is a new chapter every Friday, so be sure to subscribe. Before we jump into it, I'd like to tell you about one more thing. If you stay until the very end, you'll get a peek behind the page with a quick tidbit about this chapter. All right, let's get into it. The story so far. Joe was facing a crucial board meeting and had just discovered two major program setbacks that could harm the company's profits and potentially ruin his chances of being appointed CEO. Even with all this hanging in the balance, he stopped testing their lab-created brain organoids once they began exhibiting consciousness. He also split up the Warriors Creed Mecha IR environment into two distinct parts. One for general use, which didn't include things like torture or enhanced interrogations, while the other could be sold to the military for training purposes. Now let's go ahead and jump right in that chapter. Chapter 7. The board, in their infinite wisdom, decided that I didn't have the business experience needed to grow the company into what they believed we were capable of, even though we were already poised to have one of the largest IPOs ever. They appointed me president and hired Martin Conley to be our CEO. You know, I couldn't fault them for bringing in Martin. I mean, the guy had already successfully run multiple Fortune 500 companies that grew exponentially under his leadership. He definitely had the experience, but that didn't mean I had to like him. Man, we immediately butted heads on how we wanted to run the company. I was driven by the user experience and he was driven by money. I always felt that money would come if we continued to build things to improve people's lives, but he just couldn't see how one could lead to the other. Fortunately, Mecha IR was too far along for him to meddle with, so it launched with my vision fully intact. The public didn't know nor care about our internal bickering. They just cared about the end product. Mecha IR became a massive hit with the public, causing our initial public offering for SciTech to become one of the largest IPOs ever, which was somehow credited to freaking Martin. Years passed with plenty of fighting between me and Martin. Despite all our disagreements, everything was going great until news broke that our company sold the military torture scenarios. Leaked footage showed them using one of our torture scenarios as enhanced interrogations on an enemy combatant. Anyone who used the Mecha IR tech knew that it felt exactly like the real thing. They tried to say it was gentler on the body than waterboarding someone, but both messed with the mind. And I knew our tech was worse because it allowed them to take it further than they would have if they were doing it in the real world. Man, I was furious this was all done behind my back. And to be honest, I felt like I was the cause of it all. But of course, that didn't stop me from barging into Martin's office to give him a piece of my mind. What the heck have you done, Martin? What I was brought in to do? Make money, which you should be thanking me for, not attacking me. Weren't the torture scenarios your idea anyway? Yes, but it was a mistake, a big mistake. Not based on the amount the US government paid for it. As you'd say in America, I think you hit this one out of the park. What is wrong with you? Nothing. How the user decides to use our tech shouldn't be up to us once they bought it. Our tech? You mean my tech? Aren't you forgetting the true brains behind it all? Oh, aye. That's right. You're the ideas guy. Martin, of course, made sure he poured salt on the wound by using air quotes. You know, you'd be near right now if it weren't for Sanjay and Maya. You know, Martin, you'd be nowhere right now if it wasn't for the three of us. Keep reminding yourself of that, Joe. The board had their reasons for picking me to run this company. How do companies keep falling for that old Martin charm? It must be my charms of all charms. Money. And I'm making them a ton of it. You're going too far to turn a buck with our tech. First, I hear you're integrating our AI tech with freaking organoids, which I thought had been shut down since the dang things were gaining consciousness. Now you're selling the government a torture device? I'm not selling the government a torture device technically. That's on you. As for integrating AI with the organoids, well, that's to keep the children safe. To keep children safe? That's what we're hoping for. How's that? Now, you wouldn't have me go putting implants in children without testing it, would ya? I'm not the complete monster you be thinking me to be. Why are you even thinking of doing that? For money? You need to stop being so daft. The sooner you realize we're a business, the sooner I think we can move past these wee little squabbles of ours. If not, you'll just have to feck off. You know I'm quite pressed for time. Man, this is low even for you. Could you shut the door on your way out? We were making plenty of money, but I guess that wasn't enough. It was beginning to feel like we, as a company, just didn't care about the consequences of our actions. And who knew what else we were doing? You know, I'm a guy that likes to crack jokes at all the wrong times. Heck, that's even gotten me into my fair share of trouble in the past. Like telling funny stories about my sister while people are standing in line to pay their respects at her funeral. I knew if she were alive, she'd be joining in with me. But other people may have not known her that way, or just felt it was disrespectful. Either way, I found myself in another situation where people felt I needed to shut the heck up. I became very vocal about all of it and publicly fought to end the military using our tech for torture. I knew Yoda was right. Once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny. Martin and the board disagreed with me. You know, even though the board and I didn't see eye to eye on all of this, I tried to get them to oust Martin. Problem was, he must have caught wind of it and talked to the board of directors pushing his own agenda, which he let me know as we were headed to the board meeting. You know, you shouldn't have gone public. You signed a non-disparagement agreement that forbids you from doing just that. Or did you not remember that part? To be honest, I had gotten so caught up in doing what I felt was right that I had forgotten all about that. But I certainly wasn't going to let him know that. You know what? Some things are more important than a job. I discussed our situation with the board, and I have all the votes needed to get rid of ya. Wait, are you trying to fire me from my own company? Aye, that's the long and the short of it now, isn't it? This concludes Chapter 7 of Post-Apocalyptic Joe in a Cinematic Wasteland, written by Joe Gillis and read by Joe Gillis. Man, Joe's life is turned upside down at the end of this chapter. The story of the board pushing out the president of the company was something I got to experience firsthand years ago. The board removed the president, who was one of the 3 founders of the software company I worked for in the early 2000s. Nothing about it was like what I wrote here, but it was interesting to see how things worked with a board. So let me ask you, what do you think Joe will do now? I hope to see you next Friday because the next few chapters are going to be a real doozy. Of course, you could jump into all of that right now by joining Joe's post-apocalyptic army at cinematicwasteland.com and get up to 4 weeks early with a membership. There is even a free level that gives you access to the podcast or web novel 1 week early. I'll post a link in the show notes. If you enjoyed what you heard, hit subscribe to continue to get a new chapter every week. Thank you so much for joining me on this crazy journey. See you on the flip side. Post-Apocalyptic Joe in a Cinematic Wasteland, copyright 2023, Joe Gillis. All rights reserved. This is a Jawagi production and is distributed by Slacker Entertainment.